Welcome back, everybody. We're going to start a new project today that I hope you're all going to enjoy. It is getting to be summertime, so everyone is looking to do this. This area here that you see is going to be transformed into a nice pool out here on our back patio. This is what we're going to be installing. This is the Intex pool. You've seen a lot of these online. I'm about 20 minutes into this pool and I'm already tired of it. So we're gonna lay all the poles out how they're supposed to be, and then we'll use some of this. I know it's a little odd, but you put some baby powder on the poles and they slide into the grooves on the pool much easier. So we're gonna get started on that. Well. Looks like we have a visitor living in the pipes from the factory. You want to come out? I bet you've been in there a while. Maybe you need to go that way. A frog.
Oh, goodness.
He's probably like, oh my gosh, I got in this box like a month ago. So there he is. Because we just opened that box.
Alive?
Yeah, he's alive. But he's very confused. Oh, before I get my hat completely filthy with, you can already see it, all the baby powder. Check out the merch. It's our new hats. There's some t-shirts and hoodies also. So check them out. Our Etsy store is on the link. Get your Wanderlust Handyman merch. All right, first one in should be like this, with the white part going that way away from you. All right, that's C. And then we have B. Make sure your holes are all facing the same way. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start with A this time. Slide it in. You want to get your holes lined up with these all the way down through there. This is what it looks like. We have the legs set up all the way around, ready to go. These legs are gonna lock into those holes that we have underneath here, and then we can lift it up. You can see it's up. However, I did not realize the sheer size of this pool. Like I said, let's get the smaller one. And I'm glad we did, because look at this. Look at that, it's barely, I mean, it's almost to the roof. This is ridiculous. So that flap lines up with this, which is the flap on the leg. See that cut? And that fits right in it. We use these little plastic poles, slide it in here, bring that down, slide it through, and then slide it out the other side like that. We're secured to the flap. All right, we have feet attached all the way around. 60 to 90 minutes. My big old Wanderlust handy booty. That ain't happening. Next thing we'll do is we'll set them up, pull the legs up, and put our corner pieces in. Now these poles, they all snap together. There's a little snap inside. But on the corners, they do not snap. They just slide in. And that gives it freedom to kind of move and flex a little bit in the corners. All right, so here is your corner piece. One will go in here, and of course the other one goes into that piece. So let's see if we can make it work. See how far it goes in? That gives it that flex in the corners, which is probably what we're gonna need to make this corner work. Yeah, it's not too tight. Look, see that? Let's go do it 3 more times. All right, we got the ladder assembled finally. Take a step back and see the beauty of this ladder that took hours. This ladder is a little wobbly, and it's sitting on this rail, which is a little worrisome. I mean, when you get to the top of this ladder, let me see this. This pool, honestly, you should consider this is a deep pool. Because when I'm standing on the top of my ladder, like I'm gonna get in this pool, I'm literally on my roof. I mean, this is ridiculously tall. So this, I mean, look at this.
Apparently it's a shallow water. I wouldn't say it's shallow.
That's a long way down. I know that the pool is gonna spread out some when the water gets in it and settle, but my goodness, this is high. All right, these are nice and tight. And now, look a little like a squid, but
Hey, speaking of squids.
speaking of squids, here is Smooth Squid. Smooth Squid, repping the merch from Hope House. Not repping the merch from Wanderlust Handyman. You should get on that next time.
I didn't want to get it dirty.
All right, well, check out Smooth Squid. All right, well, come on in, the air's fine. While it's filling up, we have to push the sides to try to get all these wrinkles out of it. The Wanderlust handy wife has snuck up on me. This was all her idea. I mean, this is a big pool. The other thing that we decided to get for this pool is a saltwater system. So basically we're gonna put in like 130 pounds of salt in the water, and then this system will create chlorine. We don't have to buy any chemicals. We've had a saltwater pool before. It's great. It literally takes, you throw a bag of salt in at the beginning of the year and you're good to go. So to integrate this with this, I'm hoping there's some instructions. This is the pool that never ends. My wife made me buy it, and it's a pain in the.
Sorry for cussing. Family friendly, all the above.
Sorry for cussing, it's a family show. Tuesday. The water's gonna come to this pump, which we still don't have set up. It's gonna come into this machine, which is gonna convert that salt water into chlorine. It's gonna come in here, go out here, and up and into the pool. We tried to get some time-lapse footage of the pool filling up, but we only got the first little bit before the camera died. All right, guys, we are back. The pool is finally full of water, so we're gonna get the pump started here in just a second. I'm gonna show you the steps we're gonna take for that. And again, you can see how high this pool is. I mean, it's not a high roof here, but it's pretty close. So if the kids were a little older, I'd be worried about them getting up there and jumping in, which is what I would have done as a kid. But, all right, so let's go through this. We have our 2 returns here that come down to this stop valve, which we will open in a second, and that allows water to flow into the pump, go out here, it comes out of the pump and goes into our saltwater system, goes out of our saltwater system and back into the pool right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open the valves, let all the water fill the pump. We're gonna get the air out of the lines, and then we're gonna backwash the pump. All right, so you should start hearing some bubbling because all that water is going into this pump, filling the pump and all the lines, so you should hear some bubbling going on. What we're gonna do now is turn the pump to, we're gonna turn this to waste, and then we're also gonna turn this valve. This is just the air release valve for air that is caught up inside of the pump. And this should start leaking out a little bit too. You can see there. After that's ran for a couple minutes, we will close that, turn that back to off, and then get ready to actually backwash the pump. We are good. We're gonna close this one, and I'm gonna close that one. We're gonna hold down the timer button until we get to FP, which is full power. It doesn't have a time limit on it. Ah, shoot, if you pass it, you can go back to it. All right, then we should see it start shooting out here in a second. And there we go. All right, we finished the backwashing. Water was coming out clear. We're gonna put our waste cap back on. Nice and tight. Check all our connections. Everything seems to be good and tight. This is back on, so no air is getting out. Our valves are open. So now we're gonna turn the pump on and let it actually filter. We're gonna switch it from backwash over to filter before we turn our pump on.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
There you go. Is it locked in? All right. Now we will turn the pump on. Be very careful opening this because it only goes so far and it's going to be really easy to break. So I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to leave it on FP for right now so that we're not operating on the timer. You can hear the pool. It's running. It's very quiet actually. And here you can see it is running water through the system, and we have good flow. I have the exit pointed up, so that will kind of stir the top of the water and keep things stirred up, hopefully. Now, the second part of this is our saltwater system. So for this system to work, you have to put a certain amount of salt into the pool, and you don't just want to dump a bag of salt in there. This pool, if you look on the guidelines in the book for the saltwater system, it says for this Intex, which is an 18 by 9 by 52, you need to start with 115 pounds of salt. So what we're gonna do before we turn the saltwater system on is we're gonna get our salt, we're gonna dissolve it in a bucket, kind of stir it up, and then dump it in. I'm gonna have the Wanderlust Handyman in the pool, which is freezing cold, by the way, so that as I pour that salt in, it's not just sitting on the bottom. He can kind of stir it around and let it get going. So again, I'm not gonna turn the system on until I have salt in the pool. Now, one thing I would like to do, this is the same thing I did on my last pool that was a saltwater, is before I add the salt in, because it's gonna take some time for that little saltwater generator to make enough chlorine to keep the pool clean. So I'm gonna put a small thing of shock in the pool so that it has some in there to start fighting that algae and that growth that's gonna happen. Okay, so this, we are not gonna pre-dissolve. We're gonna sprinkle this around the pool, and then we will have the Wanderlust Handyman stirring it around as it goes. How cold?
Pretty cold.
All right, while he's spreading in the shock, I'm gonna start doing the salt dissolving here. I'm keeping the salt just above the water, and I'm gonna spray this into there, and you'll see the cloudy water as the salt water comes out. All right, so we have all the salt dissolved. We did 120 pounds. It's supposed to be 115, but they come in 40-pound bags, so we did 120 pounds. the method that I showed you with the bucket, if you set the bucket inside the pool and just use your water hose and just kind of dissolve it and let it pour out the top of the bucket, it went pretty quick, about 20-25 minutes it took. So we have all that in here now. Pump's been running the whole time. I have the Wanderlust Handy Sun in there walking around, just stirring the salt up as I pour it in. So now we're going to turn the saltwater generator on. So here's the control panel on this. Same thing, it's a spring-loaded lid, so just be careful when you get to the top so you don't snap it off. So basically the water is coming in through here. You can see it's full of water. It's going to go across these electrodes, and then that electricity going through that will cause some kind of chemical reaction and make chlorine. So let's turn it on. I'm gonna do my timer to 12 hours. Okay, that way from today, every day it'll start at this time and turn on for 12 hours. All right, and then I'm gonna do boost. I gotta hold down boost for 5 seconds. Okay, so the boost system will do 8 times whatever time setting that you put it on. So I selected 12 hours, so 8 times that is gonna be 96 hours this thing's gonna run. I may wanna take my timer down a little bit. If I do 3 hours, that would give me 24 hours of a boost cycle, which should get us to a point where we're actually functioning really well. So here's our final look at the pool. It's a lot bigger than we thought, but our pump's running, saltwater generator's running. All right guys, so there you have it. Intex pool, 18 by 9 by 52. It says 60 to 90 minutes on the box. That is a complete lie, but it's not that bad actually. It's just, it's gonna take you a day or two. You know, a few hours getting the ground ready, a few hours getting all the poles and everything in, getting it up, and then waiting and waiting and waiting for it to fill up with water. But other than that, I mean, within a day and a half now, we have a fully functioning pool with a saltwater system. As far as setup, it's not too bad. It could all crash and burn tomorrow, but for right now, it's good. Thank you guys for checking us out. Please like and subscribe below. We appreciate you sharing these videos. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Thanks, guys.